Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Is she actually wearing Crocs with this outfit? Yes, I am. Anyway, welcome back to Look Inside My Garden. I'm Sophie, and today I'm going to be giving you the January garden tour. Now, what a few weeks of weather we have had. So, this week we have had here in Sussex temperatures down to -7, which has been pretty hairy for the seedlings that are in my zippy greenhouse. And now we have been blessed with really strong winds and another weather warning. Not rain at the minute, but yeah, really strong wind, which isn't great. January in my garden is a time where there's definitely lots of green around, but everything is just waiting. It's just hanging around and waiting to erupt, ready for spring. So it might seem like a really boring garden tour, but compared to next month, there'll be so much more to see. So even though there's not a lot, I thought it'd be great to have a whiz around and see what's going on. Things are kind of ahead actually from where they have been previously. We have had such a mild winter other than the cold snap we've just had. So yeah, there are a few strange things going on in the garden, but I know it's the same for lots of people. So let's go and take a look. And bang on cue, a huge gust of wind. It is very windy and very cold. I mean, no frost, but I do not like wind. Wind for me is like my worst gardening weather. I would far rather not garden than be out in the wind. I just hate it. So it's looking really nice over here. Lots of bulbs in here ready to erupt. Yeah, Fatsia are amazing for green kind of interest. Then into the statue garden we go. The ferns are looking lovely. These just look amazing all the time. I highly, highly recommend adding ferns and greenery to your garden. This is my shadier spot here, which is why it's got some interest because these plants all love the shade. Then the borders are looking actually really quite full. So you can see all of that new growth on my rows. I've got a load of self-seeded Nigella at the back, which is interesting because I didn't have much Nigella last year. So I don't know why I've got so many, to be honest. And then I can just see bulbs coming up everywhere, bulbs everywhere. Some daffodils coming up here, lots of forget-me-nots. I need to brush these grasses through. I haven't done that for a couple of months. But yeah, I can just see, you can see bulbs everywhere. They are alliums. I mean, I'm not even sure what some of them are, to be honest. And then I've got some really big tulips. I've never had tulips shoot up that big in January. And actually, I've got a really big one over there. So I don't quite actually know what's happening there. Seems a little bit premature, but we'll see. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it now. There are, I think they might be last year's ones, which were a peachy colour. So yeah, we shall see. Then I've got my roses. I haven't done my rose pruning yet. I'll do that in the next few weeks because I was thinking about maybe doing something fancy because this is a climbing rose that is Gertrude, a David Austin one. So yeah, that needs a prune. And then the borders are, I mean, obviously they're looking very messy and brown, but there are a lot of lovely plants in there. Like I said, just waiting. They're just sitting there waiting. I can see these are anemones. Luckily, they've survived the frost. I've got another rose in there. That was a new one. I added 3 new roses this year. No, 4 new roses. Yeah, so I've got 4 new roses that have never done anything. So that's a new one. And I need to get an obelisk to go in this border. It's kind of in the middle at the back. I wanted to add a bit of height. So yeah, I went for one that would benefit from an obelisk. And this is a climbing one. I can't even remember what it is. So that's going to climb up there. I was thinking of actually adding another clematis in the middle, a white variety. I need to decide what I'm going to go for. I shall do some research. Talking of clematis, that clematis is looking good. This one's got loads of buds on. Another grass that needs a bit of maintenance. This, I can't believe how well this is done. This is creeping thyme. So when you like stamp on it, oh my God, the smell is so nice. And I grew that from seed this time last year. And they're really expensive if you buy them just as a plant. Like you'd be looking at like £4 or £5 for a tiny one. So yeah, amazing. I love that. I might even grow some more if I can find the seed. I've got one to move because this one does not like being in the shade, but it does still look alive. So I bet if I cut it back and move it, that would probably be a sensible idea. Yeah, loads more tulips coming through there. I mean, it does concern me a little bit. Yeah, we'll see. The pond is currently having a bit of maintenance because the water, I don't know, something broke. Anyway, that's Ben's domain. That Fatsy is looking lovely. The calla lily had it in the frost. He's not happy. I've got flowers coming on my Benny Chidori blossom tree. This blossom tree is stunning. God, look at that area. Please don't tell me I'm the only gardener that has a dumping ground that looks like that. So yeah, this tree is a beauty and I can't wait for that to flower again. Wisteria pruning, I have not done it yet. I hope to do it. I don't know. I don't know. If I don't do it till Feb, that's not a problem. January, Feb are the perfect times to do it. It's just quite a big job. So all of that is... Actually, that might flower this year because some of that we pulled over the year before. So I might get my first flowers at the back of the pond this year, which would be amazing. But then all of the growth that's gone up, it's gone up into that tree and got tangled. That wouldn't flower this year anyway. But yeah, that definitely needs a good bit of prunage and getting the shape nice. But I'm going to show you how to do that. So yeah, that'll be a good job done. So yeah, that is the statue garden. Let's whiz around to the other garden down the alleyway. Wisteria all above here, so I've got a lot a lot of pruning to do. A lot of pruning. Ben had to fix a cracked fence post this morning, which was a bit annoying, but hurrah, it's not icy, which is so good. So bamboos all along there, they're looking good. These Fatsia, I mean, they shriveled and shrunk right down in the frost. They were not happy, but they've perked right back up. Look at the size of them. They just look amazing. Yeah, that was like the best thing I've ever planted for this corner. It's just completely transformed it. Then we've got lots of bulbs in here. See, none of these seem too giant. They just look normal size. So that's okay. And then this is the corner of eyesores. The corner that just looks horrendous and will look like this until probably April. I've got the first of my iris that have come out. They just look so pretty. Love them. They just look so lovely. And I can't remember when I planted those. I can't remember if they're this year's or last year's. Not sure. And then yeah, this is just my to-do pending will it ever get done pile. Which yeah, is really ugly, but it is what it is. Then I've got lots of pots here. These are all planted up, just waiting for spring. Nothing much happening there. Then I've still got some more verbena to add into this border that I haven't done yet. These are all just waiting. These are tulips. The cat's been in that one, which is great. Some of these tulips are getting quite tall. That one's quite tall. Oh, a foxglove. I can move that. I have no idea how a foxglove would have got here, but that's great because I need one in the other garden. So that's brilliant. Then January and February is just the time when the decking looks horrendous, but March is the time it gets jet washed and painted, and then it looks just amazing. So I can't wait for that to have a new lease of life painted on it. And then these pots kind of look a bit sad and a bit sparse. Usually I've got loads more containers on here, but because it's been so wet, I've wanted to protect the decking as much as I could, so I've moved stuff. The cat's been in there as well, so that's lovely. Hoping those bamboos might put on a bit of height this year. And then I've got another rose that needs pruning. This is my, I don't actually know what type of rose it is, but I call it my Beauty and the Beast rose because it is just magnificent. The colour and the depth of the colour is just amazing. And I actually moved it this time last year into this position. Clearly it's very happy. It's actually not a climbing rose, but I spoke to a rose specialist who said that the way I had pruned it, I was advised to kind of do it in a fan shape and make sure that I tied the stems in like along there, and then they shoot upwards. But apparently it showed characteristics of being a good climber, so that's a win. And I think the shape of it's looking really good, so it will pretty much cover that whole fence. So I need to add a few more wires in so that I can tie a few more stems down, but I don't think I've really got to prune it too much. Kind of with a rose you want like a pencil thickness stem, and I mean that's all of last year's growth, and that's a really good thick stem, so that's great. Yeah, if I had some more wire I could probably kind of spread that a little bit, but yeah, so there we have it, a very dormant looking garden. I think for so many of us, we are just so ready for spring. Like, I can't even tell you, I'm over winter. But it is a really exciting time to be in the garden. It's the time for planning, it's the time for planting seeds, and it's the time for, yeah, just dreaming about warmer days. And I think we are all just clinging on to that day where we can put the flip-flops on and be in a t-shirt and be in the garden. And that is the time when gardeners are just the most smug ever, when we've put in all the hard work and we have created that garden, and we get to go and sit and have a cup of tea in our beautiful garden with the bees and the butterflies and the birds. Oh my God, there's just no better feeling ever. But we're getting closer, guys. We are getting closer. I think last night it was still a little bit light at 5 p.m, which is amazing. So slowly, we are creeping up to more daylight, and it just feels so good. So yeah, a little bit of a boring January garden tour because there's not a lot to see. But the transformation will be happening soon as more things wake up and we race closer towards spring. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell if you would like to be notified of my latest posts, and I'll see you again soon.